Well, speaking of games that will be coming to the Switch and as well as other platforms, it was announced that Freedom Wars, which was originally on the PlayStation Vita, is getting a remaster coming January 9th, 2025, and that is going to be on the PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. Yeah, so what are your thoughts?
So I honestly, until I saw the announcement and saw the trailer, I didn't know too much about the game. Looking at it, I looked at it and it sort of reminds me somewhat vaguely. I mean, I could be wrong because based on the gameplay footage I saw, but it also vaguely remind me of sort of like of God Eater in a sense. Because is it I mean, I didn't watch too much gameplay footage, but is it sort of like mission based? And you're sort of like in a squad. Okay, so yeah, so because of that, it definitely reminds me of that God Eater sort of Monster Hunter esque structure. I mean, granted, both of those games I enjoyed, so I feel like this is a game that I definitely would enjoy as well. Obviously, I never played it before. One reason I never had a Vita, but it is interesting the fact that a game that was a Sony exclusive, being brought back all these years, and also multi-platform at that, is great. I like it. I mean, it's kind of it's funny, and it's also sad that it's not coming to Xbox, but it is at least breaking out of the PlayStation only platform, and it kind of makes me wonder. I mean, granted, this was done by the same studio, I think. It kind of makes me kind of hope maybe still eventually we might get Gravity Rush, but I'm not gonna really hold my breath too much on that. But yeah, I mean, I'm overall though, I'm excited about this. I'm looking forward to trying this out. Maybe not at launch, but sometime. But yeah, I'll definitely check this out.
So I've never finished it. I played a decent chunk, and this came out 10 years ago, and I got it when it launched. This is a Japan studio game, which also, like you, gives me more hope about Gravity Rush, because Gravity Rush games were also Japan studio. And the fact that they're bringing this back, I think is fantastic, because I think it deserved more love. In fact, I think this was probably the last actual PlayStation published game on the Vita. Because they just abandoned the Vita. Or at least new game. I mean, they may have done the Ratchet and Clank collection after that, but the Ratchet and Clank collection was the PS2 games just put on the Vita. Or well, I guess it's more port of the PS3 versions of the games. But anyway, just lower frame rate. So in terms of this game, what I played of it, I really liked for the most part. The concept behind it is that you are in this futuristic world where, based on crimes you commit or crimes that have been committed, people will receive sentences of like 1,000,000 years. And the way that they reduce their sentences is they fight these alien monsters. At least I think it's aliens. I can't quite remember. It's been a long time. And it is very Monster Hunter like, at least in terms of the actual combat. It's very Monster Hunter like. I don't think there's really like any armor stuff necessarily from that standpoint. I think it's more just like more appearance and weapons. You can it says on here, customize your appearance, class, and weapons. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nothing apart from appearance. Like you're not cutting off monster parts in order to make armor and that sort of thing. Like I said, it's been a long time since I really played it, and I didn't get very far in it. The one thing that is that really slowed down the gameplay for me is initially this prison that you're in is super strict to where until you have like earned certain ranks, you can't even do things like run around. You have to walk everywhere. So it's like your movement is very slow. And I mean that's not when you're on the battlefield. That's just when you're in the prison. And as you progress, you get the ability, for that. This game is definitely a graphical showcase for the Vita. Like it's one of the best looking games on the system, without question. One of the things that drew me to it most was the anime art style and everything else. And what I played, it was fun. Like I really like the combat. I really liked it a lot. I just never got super far. And I mean, I don't remember specifically what took me away from it, but it's one of those that I've always wanted to get back to. And I had contemplated at times using my Vita TV, which is like the little handheld or the little console thing that you can connect to your TV that plays Vita games and PSP, PS1 classics, things like that. Also, I think did remote play for PS4. And it actually looked pretty decent, even with the image stretched out on a TV. But now that it's coming to other platforms, that definitely makes me more interested. And I'm not sure about whether I would attempt to do a three-way comparison between the Switch, Vita, and Steam Deck for this game, even though I would love to. Mostly it's because I am not sure about how much time I would need to record. I don't think I would need nearly as much as like I do with Persona 4 Golden, because Persona 4 Golden, it just takes so long to get into the action that it felt more necessary. With this game, it's not quite like that. But I do seem to remember it still takes a little bit to get into the action. But yeah, it's really fun. Everything I remember about this game is that it was fun. And I definitely want to give it another shot. I mean, I'm honestly kind of tempted to just boot this up on my Vita, but I think what I will probably end up doing is I will maybe even... Well, first of all, just kind of regain my bearings, see if I even still have a save for this, because I don't know if I do. I might be able to find one on like my Vita TV or something, because I know I transferred my save over there. But maybe try doing that and see if I can refamiliarize myself, and then just get the footage recorded early, like really early, long before the other versions come out, so that I already have one portion done, and go from there. But regardless, I'm excited that they're doing this. I'm hoping that this is going to mean more Japan studio games will make their way over, especially Gravity Rush 1 and 2. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that it got announced when it did, especially if this rumored PlayStation Showcase ends up being a thing, because it seems like that would be a good place to announce it. But we'll get into that here shortly. So, any other thoughts?
Well, I'll just say, I guess maybe the reason why they didn't show it, wouldn't show a case there is because Bandai Namco is publishing it, so maybe that could be the reason why.
True. That could very well be the reason, and of course because Japan Studio is no longer part of their thing. So yeah, like I might even just pull out my Vita and try this game out sometime soon. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Anything else before we move into the next story?
No, sir.